Minimum spec should be nearly unplayable with recommended specs being medium setting. Oh, come on, stop scrolling. Steam tries to not launch the game if your computer is below minimum spec. Does it? It doesn't with me. Both should move up, but a smaller amount since 10.9 series makes over 20% cards. They got 60 FPS on medium settings with 1050. So I don't know about the thing that it won't launch the game if it's below medium spec. I think that's something that's sort of up to game devs to implement themselves. Because we've launched the game on hardware that's way below criteria before, and we've never run into this issue. I think it might be a thing where some developers add that option for their games, and we don't have anything like that. But when it comes to like performance, I haven't noticed. So when I run on my 1080, I don't notice a huge difference between update 7 and 8 at the moment. And update 8 is kind of wonky right now. That's sort of what I mean. Like, I think you guys should wait a little bit with like all the theorizing of like minimum specs and all that stuff. Like, wait until sort of, if you have machine, you know, you're probably going to be affected in some way. But like, as to the extent of how affected you guys are going to be when it comes to like performance and that kind of stuff, wait until the update is out, I'd say. Minimum specs won't launch a different recommended specs. So like I mentioned, we've run the game on hardware that's less than whatever we had. But you might be right. I don't know actually, but I haven't heard of that before, and I don't know if that's like a mandatory thing that all games do on Steam, or if it's up to the developers sort of to whether they want that to be a thing or not. Because I've never heard of anyone mentioning that before when it comes to satisfactory. I feel like I should have received like an email from someone if that was the case. But I don't know. You might be right. We'll see. I doubt Steam enforces that. There's too many combinations to realistically enforce that. I mean, it is possible to be like, because you can see what hardware you're running the game on. So like, technically it's possible to be like, oh, you're trying to run the game with this graphics card, and if it's not in this list of graphics cards, then it doesn't boot it. But even if that's the case, even if Steam did that, like, you can still boot the game with like the executable. We don't have anything that checks that. The only thing we care about is DirectX 12 or 11. So like, if you can't support those rendering APIs, then we boot you out. But there's nothing in the game, at least, to stop minimum specs for like computers to boot it up. Or run it on Epic Game. Yeah, Epic doesn't give a shit. Because like, I booted Satisfactory on like integrated GPU. No, wait. No, yeah, integrated. Yeah. What's the other one? D something. Not dedicated, but it's like something. No, discrete. Is it discrete? Oh, okay. D's nuts. There we go. I was contemplating whether I do that. I kind of want to see if we can experiment a little bit when it comes to the hardware stuff. I guess we'll find out. Ooh. So I may be wrong about Steam, or it's up to the developer. Just a coincidence that any game I've played while below spec errors and refuses to run, I guess. Okay. I mean, I don't know. It could be the case, but let's see what happens. Because like, I feel like if you can't run Satisfactory now, you're gonna be able to run Satisfactory for update 8. I think. Famous last words. Because okay, the thing that like bugs me a little bit with the hardware thing is it's valid, you know, our like critique that like that it's a bummer if you have a computer that you've played Satisfactory on and now suddenly you're not going to be able to play the game anymore because we needed to up the specs. Like that is a huge bummer. But I also like don't want people to like, you know, like completely rule the game out because of the preliminary hardware specs that we have right now. I still think it's important to try it out because there's a lot of combinations that lead to like whether a game runs or doesn't run. Because I think there's going to be people that are going to be able to play the game below the minimum specs, kind of, maybe, because people have already been playing sort of on minimum specs. Like the fact that people can play the game now on less than that, and we were so like crazy low with the minimum specs, you know, kind of shows that there is that potential. But I don't know. It's so hard to nail this down, especially since we're kind of coming up with like new specs on a release that we haven't released yet. So we're kind of guessing in the dark. I don't know. Let's, you know, if we run up that storm where a lot of people can't play the game because of minimum specs, you know, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. No, cross that bridge when we get to it. You know, we'll sort of, you know, have a better discussion about it then, I think, because right now it's just like a guess in the dark. But we do want to share that awareness of the minimum specs. That's why we included it in the video. Define run. Does 10 FPS qualify as run? Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, you can boot it, you can load a save file, can't like, but you know, like Andrew at the moment has 5 FPS. Like, does that mean that it doesn't, that his current computer doesn't meet the minimum requirements? You know, like, there's always at one point the game's gonna run like garbage. So it's hard. I think in the past we've had long discussions about like this kind of stuff, and I don't see a way that we're not gonna have more discussions about it. So long as it runs on Steam Deck. Ooh, shit. We don't have like official support for Steam Deck yet, and we don't know if we ever will. Oh no, I said it. So yeah. What do you do with players that can't afford a 1080? If you can't afford a 1080, wait. This is boomer talk here, boomer snoot. But like, I remember when I bought the 1080, I bought the 1080 when it was brand new, which was like 2016 maybe, and it was like revolutionary, and at the time it was considered to be quite expensive. Okay, I think I paid like 2 or 3K Swedish, which is like roughly $200-300. That was like the most expensive, like not crazy expensive because there were GPUs that were way more, but like when it came to like consumer wide, like high end graphics card, that was like on the expensive end. Okay, that was like $300 essentially. That was expensive at the time. Now, if you're gonna buy like the same, like I guess the 490 is equivalent to the 1080 today, like price wise, it's a huge. Didn't cost, how much did it cost? 1080 price at launch. What? It was 600? I don't remember that at all. Wait, was that the Founders Edition? I don't remember paying that much. Or maybe I'm just like making shit up because I want to believe. $379 was what I paid for it, probably, because that was the Founders Edition was $5.99. That's insane. But I kind of remember that too, that was insane. But the oh wait, no, that's 1070. I don't know. But that was way more than I thought, though. That's for sure. And I think it's the same price if you buy 1080 today. Can you buy old GPUs like that still? Because like the Titan X was like the shit. Like the unreasonably expensive one. Used? No, new. Man, it's so fucking expensive. Why is it so expensive? We should just release on console because it's so much cheaper there. Like a console costs as like the PS5 costs as much as like as like the higher tier graphics cards. It's insane. PS5 without a TV is not great. Yo, you buy a PS5, HDMI, and a TV. You need, like, you're gonna need to buy monitors if you buy computers. I mean, that's the same kind of like reasoning. Except you only need to buy one. When you're buying a PC, you're gonna be like, oh, maybe I should have 5. TVs are cheaper than PS5s though, yeah. No matter what you do, it's just gonna be expensive. We just live in an expensive world. If 4 monitors is fine, that's you gotta have at least 4. I mean, I say that I have 4 monitors. And I don't know how I could go down from it. Granted, they're not 4K though. Like, I always find it annoying to use 4K. I just sit like this next to the screen. But it's nice. What are we talking about? Do we have any? I feel like we just fucking went on a tangent here. I don't remember what we were talking about before this. Probably minimum specs. So yeah, burgers. We're gonna burgers.